And yeah, so take us back to August 31st, 2011. You guys get the call, you and Joe Rossi, about a woman that was possibly OD'd, right?
Mm-hmm. So what had happened was Officer Rossi and I were riding together that day, and a call came out that there was a suicidal female that had attempted suicide at the College Inn. College Inn's a building here on campus, about 17th and Athens. And a handful of our units were dispatched down there, and Officer Rossi and I were discussing it. I was actually the supervisor on duty, and we thought it was peculiar that somebody was in the College Inn. The building's been abandoned for a long time. It's actually set for demolition. So as the units are going down there trying to find this woman when they're having no success, we just kind of start brainstorming, and Officer Rossi suggests maybe we head down to the University Inn, which is a hotel here in the city, Broadway and Canyon, about.
Yeah, across from like Alfalfa's,
exactly,
what is now
exactly.
Alfalfa's.
So just on kind of a hunch and some experience, Officer Rossi and I, I've been here 13 years, I think he's been here 15 years, we decided to head down to the University Inn. Officer Rossi goes to talk to the manager, and I go to the room number that we'd had. We'd been given a room number, and so sure enough, I look into the window and I see a woman who's overdosed and appears to be unconscious and unresponsive. Luckily, the window was open a little bit, so I was able to slide the window open. We ripped out the screen. Officer Rossi jumped in through the window, let me in through the door. We called for an ambulance, and we stood with her till the ambulance got there. She had tried to OD on a cocktail of alcohol, prescription drug pills, and inhalants. She was inhaling stuff, and her intent that day was to kill herself. So once we got the ambulance there, we were able to get her stabilized, transported out there, and that's really about it. It was pumping pretty good. I was when I looked in the window, I was afraid we were too late. She looked dead to me, unfortunately, and I thought we were too late. And then when we got in there and were able to rouse her and get her some help with the ambulance, and then to the emergency room, where I was able to talk to her a little bit. It felt good.
So I pulled up there and asked them what was going on, and they said they think something occurred. They were trying to jumpstart their car, and the smoke started coming out. So I directed them back towards my patrol car so I could see what was going on and get them out of the roadway and make sure they were safe. Right. Once I got up to their car, that's when I saw the flames actually coming from the engine compartment. So I went back to my car, and they were all very cold at that point. They were all kind of shivering, and one of them wasn't wearing a shirt, so he was partially dressed. So I grabbed my fire extinguisher, went back up to the car, tried to put the flames out just by getting the foam into the car while I was waiting for the fire department until maybe stalled a little bit for it. While I was up in the front of the car just spraying from the closed hood, the flames had increased quite a bit at that point. Maybe a fuel line or something else had lit up, and one of the tires exploded on me, causing me to kind of stagger back.
Did you get hit with any debris, any like piece of the rubber?
Either as a piece of the rubber or just the feeling of something popping, or the startle factor of going, this is not a good place to be.
Sure.
So at that point, my extinguisher had pretty well had been depleted, and it wasn't really making a dent on the flames. So I went back to my car for a position of safety for myself, and I escorted the gentleman in the back of my patrol car to keep him warm.
Yeah. And
to keep him, because they were kind of walking out in the traffic, and
yeah, the three of them.
Yeah, the three were already outside the car. As I had them have a seat in the back of my car, that's when they started yelling at me that their friend was still inside the car. They had said their friend was passed out. Right. So I didn't hear the fire department coming. I didn't see the trucks, and I figured there was no one else there who could do that. So that's why I made the decision to run up there and see if I could get him out of the car.
Right. Did you open the door? How'd you get to him?
I went up to the car, and I was going to try and open up the front door to get into the main passenger compartment, because I wasn't sure where he was seated. But the flames were too high to get into the front.
Sounds like he resisted.
Well, I think what occurred was he probably started coming around or waking up or becoming more conscious. And when someone was pulling at him, he started grabbing onto the frame of the car, pretty much latching on so he didn't get pulled out, or maybe he thought it was his friends or something else as I was yelling at him to let go, and he was still hanging on.
How'd you get him to finally let go? Did you just have to overpower him pretty much?
Pretty much. Being a very large gentleman compared to him, he was I think a 16, 17-year-old male. I was able to use strength and just muscle him out of the car. You know, trying to not hurt him or cause him any more harm than what was already going on.
Sure.
But at that point, the entire passenger compartment in the front of the SUV was engulfed in flames, and there was not a lot of time left. You know, and I think that probably any of our officers in that situation would have done the same thing.
Right.
I think there was just that desire to help out and just right place at the right time.
Humbled, you know, to be receiving the award. No, it's not why we do the job. You know, we do it to try to help people, and I just go to work every day like almost everybody else in this country and try to do the best job that I can. And that day, you know, luck was on my side a little bit, and Officer Rossi and I were able to help out.
Well, I take a lot of personal pride, and I think I also take a lot of pride from a departmental perspective in the work that they've done that's justified the issuance of these awards to them. You know, people get into police work to provide service to the community, and there are times when that really is a special task, and I'm very happy to see that our people stepped up to that task and did a great job for us.